Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and let's strengthen our community. Now, let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. WATP, let's get to the news. The football world in Scotland has been buzzing after a surprising and rather intriguing set of comments from Gerrard. Comments that many supporters and pundits believe could hint at something much bigger than a simple compliment. Speaking with a tone that mixed admiration, nostalgia, and perhaps even a touch of unfinished business, Gerrard openly praised Rangers FC and suggested that the club's future could be brighter than many people currently imagine. For supporters who still remember the emotional connection he built during his time at Ibrox, those words carried enormous weight. Gerrard spoke about the culture, the ambition, and the hunger within the club, saying that the foundation that exists right now has the potential to grow into something truly special in European football. While he did not explicitly say anything about returning or becoming directly involved again, the way he spoke about the team felt unusually personal, almost as if he was still emotionally invested in what happens behind the scenes at the club. Fans immediately began speculating about what his comments might actually mean. Was this simply a respectful nod to a former club that helped shape his managerial reputation? Or could there be something deeper behind the praise? In Scottish football, where every word from a major figure is analyzed from every angle, Gerrard's remarks have opened the door to a wave of rumors, theories, and growing excitement. What made the situation even more fascinating is the timing of Gerrard's remarks, because many observers felt that his tone carried the kind of warmth that goes beyond standard football diplomacy. When he spoke about Ibrox Stadium, the historic home of Rangers, it almost sounded as though he was reminiscing about unfinished ambitions and a connection that still means a great deal to him personally. Gerrard described the club as one that possesses an identity built on resilience, belief, and an expectation to compete at the highest level. He spoke about the atmosphere surrounding the team, the supporters who demand excellence, and the sense of unity that can push the club toward even greater achievements in Europe. Those comments quickly sparked debate across Scottish football media and among supporters online. Some believe Gerrard was simply offering praise because he knows the importance of Rangers within the football landscape. Others, however, feel the tone of his comments hinted at something more speculative, perhaps even a subtle message that his story with the club may not be completely finished. The idea of that possibility alone has been enough to ignite imagination among fans. After all, Gerrard remains one of the most influential modern figures associated with the club, and the idea that he still views Rangers as a project with enormous potential naturally leads people to wonder whether he could one day play a role in shaping that future again. Another part of Gerrard's statement that caught widespread attention was the way he described the current direction of the club. Rather than focusing only on past success, he emphasized what he believes Rangers could become in the coming years. According to Gerrard, the club possesses the structure, the ambition, and the mentality required to challenge consistently at the highest levels of European competition. Such praise is significant because Gerrard understands the internal expectations of Rangers perhaps better than most outsiders. During his time guiding the team, he experienced the pressure, the passion, and the relentless demand to deliver results in Scotland and beyond. When someone with that level of experience begins talking about the club's future with such confidence, it inevitably fuels speculation about deeper intentions. Supporters began asking a fascinating question. Why make such strong statements now? In football, timing often matters as much as the words themselves. Some analysts have suggested Gerrard may simply be recognizing the progress the club has made since his departure. Others believe he may be positioning himself within the conversation about the club's long-term vision. Whatever the true motivation behind his words might be, one thing is clear. Gerrard's praise has reminded everyone just how closely his name remains tied to Rangers. Across social media and football discussion shows throughout Scotland, the conversation quickly shifted from simple admiration to something far more speculative. Could Gerrard's comments signal that he still keeps a close eye on developments at Rangers? Could there be a possibility that he sees the club as part of his future again one day? While there is absolutely no confirmation of anything concrete, the nature of football rumors means that even a small hint of emotional connection can spark enormous debate. Gerrard spoke about Rangers with the sort of pride that many supporters recognize instantly, almost like someone who still feels part of the club's journey. He praised the mentality within the squad, the hunger of the supporters, and the belief that the club can continue to grow on the European stage. Those words resonated deeply because they echo the same philosophy that defined his time in charge. For many fans, Gerrard represents a chapter of modern Rangers history filled with belief and revival. So hearing him talk about the club's future in such glowing terms naturally reignites memories and possibilities. Whether those possibilities remain purely emotional or eventually develop into something more tangible is impossible to know right now. But speculation has certainly taken on a life of its own. One particularly interesting aspect of Gerrard's remarks was how he framed Rangers as a club whose best days may still lie ahead rather than behind. In a football world that often focuses heavily on immediate results, his comments sounded almost like a long-term vision. Gerrard spoke about growth, development, and the idea that Rangers can continue building something powerful both domestically and across Europe. For supporters who pride themselves on the club's rich tradition, hearing such optimism from a respected former manager was both exciting and intriguing. Some analysts have even suggested that Gerrard's words could be interpreted as a message of encouragement toward the people currently shaping the club's direction. Others believe it might simply reflect his admiration for a team he once guided through intense challenges. Yet the language he used seemed unusually heartfelt, almost reflective, which only deepened the sense that these remarks were more than routine football commentary. In Scotland, where football culture thrives on passion and identity, statements like this rarely pass without deeper interpretation. Gerrard's voice still carries authority when it comes to Rangers, and because of that, every sentence he spoke has been examined carefully by fans hoping to understand what might lie behind the praise. As the conversation continues to grow, the biggest question remains unanswered. What exactly did Gerrard intend with these comments? Was he simply recognizing the progress of a club that played a defining role in his managerial career, or was there a subtle message hidden within the admiration? Football history is filled with moments where a few carefully chosen words eventually proved to be the beginning of something unexpected. Supporters of Rangers know better than anyone how quickly narratives can change in this sport. For now, Gerrard has not expanded further on his remarks, leaving fans and commentators to speculate about the meaning behind them. Yet one thing is undeniable. His words have reignited excitement, curiosity, and a renewed sense of connection between him and the Rangers community. Whether this story remains a simple expression of respect or evolves into something far more dramatic is impossible to say. But in the unpredictable theater of football, even the smallest hint of possibility is enough to capture the imagination of supporters who believe their club's future could hold extraordinary surprises. The reaction among Rangers supporters has been nothing short of fascinating, because Gerrard's unexpected praise has stirred emotions that many fans never fully let go of. For a large section of the support, his time guiding the club represented more than just a managerial era. It symbolized belief, rebuilding, and a renewed sense of identity. When Gerrard speaks positively about the future of Rangers, supporters naturally listen with a different level of attention. His comments seem to suggest that the club is still on a path towards something greater, something that could eventually elevate them once again among the most competitive sides in European football. That idea alone has sparked countless conversations across fan forums, radio discussions, and social media debates. Some supporters believe Gerrard may simply be expressing pride in the project he helped shape during his time at the club. Others feel that the emotional tone of his comments sounded like someone who still feels a deep connection with the team. In football, relationships between managers and clubs often leave lasting marks, and Gerrard's bond with Rangers clearly remains powerful. The fact that he chose to highlight the club's long-term potential rather than focusing solely on past achievements has only intensified speculation about whether he sees himself connected to that future in some way. Another intriguing detail in Gerrard's remarks was how confidently he spoke about the mentality within the Rangers environment. He described the club as a place where ambition and expectation drive everything forward, and he suggested that this mindset could allow the team to keep progressing on the European stage. For supporters who witnessed his leadership style during his time in charge, those words felt incredibly familiar. Gerrard has always emphasized discipline, belief, and collective responsibility, qualities that he believes are essential for competing at the highest level. Hearing him describe Rangers in those exact terms again created a sense of continuity that many fans found remarkable. Some observers have pointed out that managers rarely speak so passionately about former clubs unless there is still a genuine emotional connection involved. That possibility has led to a growing theory among supporters. Perhaps Gerrard still sees Rangers as part of his personal football story. Whether that means a potential return in some form someday remains purely speculative, but football history has shown that these kinds of relationships often have surprising chapters yet to be written. The way Gerrard spoke about the club's ambition certainly sounded like someone who still admires the environment he once helped shape. Football pundits throughout Scotland have also weighed in on the situation, and their interpretations vary widely. Some believe Gerrard's comments should be taken simply as respectful admiration for a club that gave him one of the most defining opportunities of his managerial career. Others believe that his words carried subtle signals that cannot be ignored. The phrasing, the enthusiasm, and the way he emphasized the club's future rather than the past all seemed slightly unusual to certain analysts. In the world of football media, even the smallest nuance can become the foundation for major speculation. Some commentators have suggested that Gerrard may be positioning himself carefully in public conversation about Rangers, keeping the door open for possibilities that may arise in the future. Others argue that such theories might be reading too much into a heartfelt compliment. Regardless of which interpretation proves closest to reality, the fact remains that Gerrard's voice still resonates strongly whenever Rangers are discussed. His legacy with the club means that even simple remarks can generate massive attention and debate among supporters and analysts alike. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. One reason these comments have captured so much attention is because Rangers supporters understand the importance of belief and leadership within the club's identity. Gerrard's time at Rangers was defined by his ability to inspire confidence in both players and fans, and that emotional connection still feels vivid for many people who followed that period closely. When he speaks about the team having a bright future, supporters naturally feel encouraged by the idea that someone with his experience still views the club as a powerful force in the making. The notion that Rangers could continue rising on the European stage is something that resonates deeply within the fan base. Scottish clubs have always carried enormous pride when competing internationally, and Gerrard's words seem to reinforce the belief that Rangers can remain part of that conversation. For supporters who dream of seeing the club thrive against Europe's strongest teams, hearing such confidence from a respected figure only strengthens their optimism. It also adds another layer to the ongoing speculation about Gerrard's long-term connection to the club. Interestingly, Gerrard never directly addressed his own future during the conversation that sparked all this attention. Instead, he kept the focus firmly on Rangers themselves, praising their structure, ambition, and the passion of their supporters. Yet sometimes what is not said can be just as powerful as what is spoken openly. By avoiding any direct discussion about his own plans, Gerrard left space for imagination to grow. Supporters and pundits alike began asking whether his silence on that topic might have been deliberate. In football, public statements often carry subtle meanings, and experienced figures like Gerrard understand exactly how their words will be interpreted. This is why his remarks have created such a powerful wave of curiosity. Even without making any promises or suggestions, he managed to remind everyone of the strong bond that still exists between him and Rangers. That bond alone is enough to keep rumors alive, especially in a sport where emotional connections frequently lead to unexpected developments. As speculation continues to swirl, the story surrounding Gerrard and Rangers has become one of the most talked about topics among Scottish football fans. Supporters are analyzing every detail of his comments, searching for clues about what might come next. Some believe his words were simply a heartfelt tribute to a club that remains close to his heart. Others believe they might represent the early whispers of something more intriguing developing in the background. For now, nothing concrete has emerged, and Gerrard himself has not expanded further on his remarks. Yet the excitement created by his praise demonstrates just how powerful his connection with Rangers still is. In football, relationships between managers and clubs rarely disappear completely, especially when they are built on shared ambition and memorable achievements. Whether Gerrard's comments remain just a moment of admiration or eventually lead to a new chapter in the Rangers' story is impossible to know. But the very possibility has captured the imagination of supporters who believe their club's future could still hold extraordinary surprises. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.